now, but
yeah,
we're already live. That's what I know.
I want to be able to catch some of this in the background. It could be funny. So thank you everyone for tuning in. For those of you who are just joining us, it's myself, Diane Slade, and Ashton joining us for the first time.
Hello.
Slade
Me with the fancy voice.
Slade is in the back, burning cookies apparently. Oh, there she is.
They came out. Do you guys want to see?
Did you burn the cookies?
I did not burn.
Yes.
Perfect.
That's what all the noise in the background was about?
Yeah, I mean, calling Joel.
Eh.
They're perfect. Look at my cookies, everyone.
They're all closely packed together, you know, kind of flattening out on the sides when they're supposed to be so lovely and round. But hey, more cookies.
Exactly. And this is what Joel told me happened.
I've made cookies like that before. It all tastes the same, so.
Yeah. Oh, well. You can give the same thing that Wendy says about their square hamburgers.
Yeah,
you get
exactly.
More.
Exactly. I've never actually had, I've only eaten at Wendy's once in my entire life, but it was a good one. It was the Baconator, so kudos to them.
Yeah.
I haven't had fish.
I'm a fat bugger. I'm a fat bugger. I always get the triple stack.
Oh, nice.
It's been a long time, though.
Oh, God. Yeah. I can't eat Wendy's.
That exists.
Yeah. Which one of you guys are close to a Chick-fil-A? Because outside of their questionable political beliefs, I really want to try them once because they sound awesome.
Slade and I actually have
like my friend
2 minutes south.
We have one in town.
Really? Is it good? Have you guys eaten there?
I haven't because I don't eat fast food, but Kyle, have you?
I've only had the chicken tenders and the waffle fries. Those I can say are good.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I don't frequent them, so.
Yeah, but their waffle fries, I hear, completely addictive. Yeah.
A friend of mine took me to Chick-fil-A one time so we could see what they were like. It was a bit odd. It was late at night, but yeah, it was good. It was good stuff.
It was good, but
I'm not going to go back there. I don't care for them.
You don't care for them?
For their political things.
Yeah, I know. I feel weird about it, but I'm willing to go there once just to try them because I can't say no to a deep fried chicken burger. So yeah. But like well, like what are your guys' go-to fast food places or burger places?
Qdoba. You should eat a Qdoba. I'm totally not biased when I say you should eat a Qdoba.
We have one of those.
I've never heard of a Qdoba before. What the heck is that?
It's like the Subway of Mexican foods. I work there.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
I have never heard of that franchise before ever. Okay.
Might be an American
thing.
Like
Chipotle, but we don't charge for guac.
Yeah, it's probably a American thing, definitely. Yeah.
I was going to say, Ashton, I don't know what your store is like, but the Qdoba here is like a greasier version of Chipotle.
I can definitely see that. I want to watch what I say because for all I know, my higher ups might somehow come across this.
Yeah.
You're not bad mouthing them or anything.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Still, though, it's not bad. I mean, it's better than most of the fast food places I've been to, so.
This is true. It's certainly more. I tolerate it more than I do McDonald's.
Is it better than
that's a little bit. Oh.
It's better than Subway, right? Because I try to avoid Subway.
Yeah, it's more user-friendly than Subway. I've gone to a Subway and said, like, oh, what kind of meats do you have? And they just stare at me like, I don't know.
Yeah. I try to avoid Subway because I've gotten food poisoning from them twice now, and that kind of puts you on my shit list.
Oh,
yeah, pretty much, quite literally.
Anyway.
Yeah. We finally got like a Five Guys burger down here, and I love them. They're amazing.
Five Guys are great.
Five Guys is amazing.
Yeah.
I think there's one just nearby.
And they just dump the fries right into your bag without measuring anything. You've not tasted it, Ashton?
No, I have not. However, there is one pretty close by. It's right next to a mod and a Starbucks and Fred Meyer's too. So, like, if I want to try one, I suppose I could just pop over, have some.
Yeah. Vash Stampede. No, sorry, I haven't heard of David's Burgers ever.
No.
But yeah, no, you should definitely try Five Guys. Like, how they serve the fries to you is pretty awesome. They just dump them right into the bag.
It is great.
Yeah, just right in the bag, and it's honestly one of the best French fries out there. I still haven't tried In-N-Out Burger. I keep hearing that's pretty amazing.
I do want to try them before I die.
Yeah.
We have to go to California for that one.
Road trip someday.
Yeah.
Okay. So, who wants a story about how I got hurt today?
Oh, yes, please.
Me.
That sounds delightful.
Okay, so everybody has seen that I have 2 Shiba Inus. Shibas hate water. Like, they love snow, they love rain, they love mud. But they absolutely cannot stand getting a bath. So yesterday, I bathed one of them. No problems. She just whines and cries, and she takes her bath like she normally does. Today, I had to bathe the boy, and I have to actually get in the bathtub with him in order to bathe him. He decides at one point, okay, I've had enough of this. Starts climbing up my legs. And yes, they can climb. Believe it or not. And so I squat down, so I pick him up and just take him out of the bath. He starts to climb up onto my shoulder like a little parrot. And I slip. I fall in the tub. So now I'm completely in soaking wet clothes. And I have a Shiba that's extremely happy that he got out of the tub.
Puppies.
Yeah.
These are evil.
That's why Kyle owns cats instead.
I would pick them up, except I've got one sleeping there and one sleeping here on the right underneath my chair. So
Aw.
can't move them.
Yeah.
Nudge him with your foot a little.
Yeah, I tried that. Ash is kind of zonked out right now.
Yeah. Ashton, do you own any cats or dogs or any pets?
I used to. I had a rag doll. I'm afraid I had to part with him not long ago.
Sorry, dude.
It was getting hard. He was getting older, and I was not in a good financial position to take care of him as well as he needed to be taken care of in his older years.
Aww.
But I found a new home for him, and he's.
You do mean the ragdoll cat, right? Because at one point I
yeah.
thought you were joking around and you meant a ragdoll doll. Okay. What was your cat's name?
I named him when I was a little kid. So when I was a kid, I was big and this is not going where you think or where you're about to think it's going to go. When I was a kid, I was kind of on a bit of an Egypt kick because I was a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! So I decided to name him Captain Common. So we just called him Captain because Captain Common is the biggest beast of a name imaginable. So it's got a KH in it. Anything with a KH in it is just bad news. And that was just the cutest thing ever watching that dog lick you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Kiba.
he loves you.
Oh, so cute.
Well, anyway.
He's a good boy, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yucky. Got sticky breath.
How long have you had him?
He is 7 years.
Oh, sorry. Thought you were talking to somebody else. Sorry.
Oh,
kind of a
sure. A question goes out to both of you.
Oh, okay. You first.
Yeah. She said 7. You've had your dog for 7 years.
7 years.
Wow. Yeah.
He's a baby.
Yeah. And you had your ragdoll cat for how long again?
I was like 8 years old when I got him. I got him from a breeder because the breeder's daughter, my cousin gave her daughter cello instructions. So we got an in.
Oh, nice. And what was your cat's name again? Sorry, I totally blanked out on
Captain
that.
Common.
Oh yeah, Cat in Common,
Yes.
right? Because of
I am going to spell it out in the chat.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
There we go.
Has anyone, including the people watching us right now, been watching the Olympics?
No, I don't have. I'm streaming everything now. So, in fact, I'm streaming Doctor Strange right now.
Oh yeah, I never got into that show.
Doctor Strange.
A lot of people.
The movie.
A lot of people are getting rid of like their boxes and like they're just streaming everything now. So like we stream Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon.
Yeah.
No one is watching the Olympics.
No one's watching. I noticed too, the States, you guys, outside of maybe snowboarding, which is like the field you guys dominate in constantly, nobody seems to care too much about the Winter Olympics.
Well, it doesn't help that we're kind of getting our asses kicked. I'm actually, give me a second, I'm gonna pull up like a live report on what we are medal-wise.
You guys aren't doing that bad. Like,
okay, Norway has 22 medals. We have 9.
Oops.
Yeah.
And most of those are.
How many does Canada have right now? I think we're like in 4th place in terms of medal count.
Let me pull that.
All of them.
Canada is in 3rd, actually. 5 gold, 5 silver, and 5 bronze.
Nice. Yay. I like the Winter Olympics because, you know, it's the one time
because America doesn't completely dominate.
You guys are good at.
Because it's the one time your country doesn't kick everybody's ass. And also,
that's
like,
one time too many there, miss.
Yeah, and also, like, you know, it's the sports are more exciting. It's just the danger element to everything, you know. There's ice and snow, and for God's sakes, you have what events like luge and skeleton as a sport where you just slide down.
Yeah, the like, luge kind of freaks me out now after the one death from the last Winter Olympics when that luger went into that pillar.
Oh my God! Yeah,
yeah, I got to see the footage.
Happened in my town. That was in Vancouver. That totally happened. Yeah, that was absolutely horrific.
Have you seen all the curling videos?
What?
Curling. All the curling videos.
Oh, the
Everyone's
curling
taking
videos.
a Roomba.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen that. That's hilarious. Yeah. But like in terms of what happened here, like I don't think you have to be an expert to know he was dead on impact. That poor man. But like apparently my friend who works, one of my friends who's a nurse, he said he was actually supposed to be going to his floor, but of course he didn't survive. But I don't know, sports like that, I don't know what compels someone to look at that and go, you know what, I really want to try that. Because it looks absolutely terrifying.
But fun.
But fun.
For some people, it's the adrenaline rush, the danger.
That, but like on like an easy level, if they even have something like that, is there like an entry level downhill?
Yeah, it's called sledding.
Kids do it.
It's called sledding. Yeah, exactly. The one I would really want to try is the one we made a movie of, Cool Runnings. Bobsled, yes, where you and like 4 other guys climb into a sled and you're actually more protected. And if you die, everybody else dies. So, you know, you don't die alone. So,
there are 4 of us.
That's such a macabre way to put it.
Yeah. I find that a bit more appealing. But at least the sled provides actual protection, you know? And you all huddle together. It looks like a lot of fun. Rather than just like...
Everybody to the bathtub!
Yeah, exactly.
So, Cat's bringing this up, and I think this would be a good topic to go over. The Incredibles 2 trailer. Incredibles 2 trailer.
Oh,
what did you guys think of it?
That looks exciting. It looks fun.
I will be shoving...
I totally saw it. It's not like I'm currently looking it up right now. No, I saw it.
Yeah, sorry, Kyle, what were you saying?
I have not watched it yet because, you know what? I want to be completely surprised by it.
Yeah, but Kyle, what were you saying?
I will be shoving children out of the way to get a good seat in the theater.
Yeah. I love that meme.
Bodily toss them out of the way.
Yeah,
The Incredibles is my favorite Pixar movie. Absolutely love the characters and the setting and the universe that they create. It's everything about it is great, I think. So being able to see a continuation, apparently this picks up like right after the first movie.
It does,
just like some other film that I know that literally took place a week after it happened. Civil War, maybe?
Yeah. But, like, it's like that meme that's applied to, like, a lot of kids' movies where it goes something like, get the hell out of my way, kids! I've been waiting 10 years for this movie. That's how I feel like about almost, like, every Disney movie.
This is a movie for the adults, not you!
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, it looks good. Incredibles was never like my top favorite, but you know, I like it as much as anybody else. So yeah, it'll be exciting. It looks like, I don't know, just judging by the trailer, yeah, it kind of looks like he now has to deal with being a stay-at-home dad while the mom is the one who's actually going out saving the day, just by the looks of it.
Yeah, which will be a fun change from the societal norm as it is. But also, it does make sense because if you remember from the first one, he is still unemployed. So... Yeah.
Well, he got fired, right? Or quit. Yeah,
for throwing his boss through like 5 walls.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, you know, who hasn't dreamt of doing that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, it looks really adorable. So yeah, is Brad Bird directing that one? Does he have a hand in it?
I'm pretty sure.
He is?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that. I can look it up right quick if you like.
Yeah, please do. Yes.
Incredibles 2. IMDb.
I'll be excited to see
directed by Brad Bird, written and directed by Brad Bird.
Nice, good for him. Yeah, it's good for him to be back in animation too, so that'll be exciting. But yeah, I really like it'll be good to see Incredibles 2 again. That's a very anticipated sequel. Have any of you seen Coco yet?
No.
Yeah.
Meant to.
What?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you seen Coco, right? We talked about it, or did we?
I don't recall talking about it, I'm afraid. It was mentioned in passing during our lengthy messenger thing we were doing, but no, I didn't see it.
Oh, you haven't seen it, so none of you have seen it yet.
Nope. Sorry, you're all alone.
Yeah. No, you guys should watch it. It's actually it's inarguably my favorite Pixar movie up to this point. It's so good. I really love it. Yeah, I was like crying for the rest of the weekend after watching it. It was so good. Yeah, so I highly recommend that one.
Hey, so we have a really good question about the silver one. Crimson, I only found you recently, but what was your favorite and less favorite, not going to say it, least favorite review to work on? I know which one.
You know, I'm actually not sure. Least favorite would probably be, well, I mean, in terms of just the process of it, probably the Max Payne one, because to get my voice right, what I did is I actually sat myself in a closet. I just went on monologues for like 20 minutes just so I could get the appropriate degree of raspiness in my voice. And then I read through the...
That's why you sounded so funny in that.
It was what?
That's why you sounded so funny in that.
Yeah.
Sounded a bit on. Yeah.
And then I went through the entire script without taking a drink of water, which was killing me by the end. I mean, normally I'll go through like an entire liter of water, at least, when filming.
I know I drank an entire bottle during our last shoot for 50 Shades. That was fun.
Oh, God. Since we have Slade here, we might as well talk about some of the behind-the-scenes things for 50 Shades.
So you filmed it. You filmed the episode.
We filmed it. Ashton has the footage. He'll have the rest. Possibly Actually, might as well tell you this now. Possible delay on that because we got snow. I don't know what that's going to do for us filming-wise on Monday, but we're going to have to see. So you've got plenty of other stuff to work on now, I'm sure, though, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Your fans are evil and will want the sequel.
I thought you meant you'd send me the new footage. My bad.
Yeah, sorry. No, but for a lot of the scenes, we got another buddy from work, Nick, who is coming in to play the slightly creepier version of Christian for the running gag we have going, which is just going to be take away his money and the whole thing becomes a Criminal Minds episode. So this is us just playing around with the idea of homeless Christian. So we have Nick dressed up like a hobo and dragging Slade around in a terrible wig.
Oh, God.
And we had to film a lot of this outside. There's one scene where they're both on a bridge. Slade's getting a piggyback from Nick. And I figured that this is just going to be kind of a casual thing, like Slade starts off, I'm really not comfortable here, please let me down, that kind of a thing. She ends up belting her lines, so like everyone in the community can hear her. I'm like, well, that's not what I was planning, but it works, and no one's calling the cops yet.
I saw you with the camera. It was fine.
Hopefully. We had a couple of guys who were walking their dog and stared at us funny.
Oh boy, it's always funny when that sort of thing happens.
Oh, absolutely. It's not mortifying at all.
Favorite review?
Well, funny in hindsight.
Favorite review that you've worked on? Because we did bad, or least favorite review.
Favorite review.
Twilight one was fun to work on. Not the actual movie. The movie sucked, but the process was a lot of fun.
That would be fun, yeah. I mean, I enjoyed the end result of Twilight. I am shocked that I managed to go on a 6-minute rant about how stupid the sparkling was. I'll still go back and rewatch that every once in a while. But I did really enjoy working on the Sea of Monsters review, though. That came out pretty well.
Oh, you mean the one that everyone was clamoring for you to do? Yeah.
Ooh, or Dragon Ball Evolution. That one.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, my
letting myself be angry with that one was cathartic.
I bet.
It was so fun to set that to the Conan the Barbarian score. That was just too perfect.
Let's see, I forget who asked. Someone in chat asked if I had seen the Dom's review of 50 Shades Darker. I have not. I actually don't watch a lot of the Dom's stuff.
Yeah,
so,
he's good. I've seen some of his stuff. He's not my favorite, but he's good. He does good work.
I think I've seen almost everything he's done. Oh, I love that guy myself.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I won't, like, I think I've seen the first 50 Shades of Grey movie. Again, like, it's a bad movie, but I'd still watch that thing many times over than reading the actual book. And I'm still shocked, Kyle, that, you know, in your review, you said it's not as bad as you thought it would be. I'm still shocked that you said that. To me, it's like the worst writing I've ever seen.
Oh, it's absolutely abysmal, but I have actually read worse. And I'm not talking about fan fiction.
Where?
Like, you on hot now and biting my lower lip.
Would you kind of agree that the quality of Twilight is better than E.L. James's writing?
If you're talking on a technical form level, barely. But technically, yes.
And I would give even Stephanie Meyer a bit more credit than that.
She tells a less stupid story. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. And I mentioned in the chat earlier that at least Stephenie Meyer didn't plagiarize her, anybody else. EL plagiarized her.
Oh,
everything's still better than Twilight. Every relationship, including the more abusive ones, such as 50 Shades of Grey, still better than Twilight.
Are you what? You're saying 50 Shades of Grey, that relationship in that is better than Twilight?
Well, in Twilight, she's asking him to, like, kill her so they can be together forever. Yay, teen suicide pact! No, don't. Suicide bad. Suicide's very bad. Suicide's bad.
Did I miss that part?
Well, yeah, but
technically it is murder.
Yeah. Well, no, all of it is bad. All of it is really bad, but 50 Shades is, I feel, way worse. Like, maybe not way worse, but I would say it's just worse in general than Twilight in terms of toxicity. Yeah. Toxic levels. I don't know.
The Geek Triad does not endorse suicide.
Yeah.
Suicide is bad.
No es bueno. I'll say this for Twilight.
Sing the MASH theme.
Logan Paul.
Yeah.
I forgot to go there.
I'll say this.
I'll go there.
50 Shades of Grey actually did have an adverse effect because there was a dramatic rise in emergency room visits because of people trying things they really shouldn't have. And that's something we bring up in the review.
Wait, is this 50 Shades?
Now, 50 Shades of Grey, okay, this is a stat that I bring up in the episode, but in 2012, which was when the third book was published, like in January, emergency rooms saw a 50% increase in visits as compared to stats from 2010 because people were trying new, stupid things as a result of 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
The safe word is cinnamon.
No, don't ruin cinnamon. Don't drag cinnamon into this. I like that spice.
Cinnamon, cinnamon, cinnamon.
Oh my god. Yeah. I didn't watch the second movie. I kind of just out of sheer curiosity, I did maybe fast forward through it on the streaming website just because I'm just curious. I just want to know what the hell the big deal is, and it's so boring. And yeah, I'm just glad that the franchise is over and everybody, including those two actors, can move on with their careers because, yeah, it's probably not fun what they had to do on set, and also going around pretending that they like what they, that they like the material and while they're promoting it and everything.
There's information I've learned, some behind the scenes stuff from 50 Shades, which I'll do you guys the favor of not repeating, but it gets real sketchy.
What? What do you mean?
Well, some of the prep work that Jamie Dornan had to do to play Christian Grey for the sex scenes. He.
What do you mean the prep work?
He has a wife.
He has a wife.
And a child.
Yeah, and a kid, yes.
And he said he wore a sock the entire time.
It's like a holster that they have attached to their hip and you just kind of.
It's like a holster sock thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a dick holster.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's.
But what
they might
what he actually had to. They don't even show any male nudity in this one. They show his butt and that's about it. Why would he need to prepare himself for those scenes?
It's not even a nice butt. My husband has a very nice butt.
Okay. We'll take your word for it.
Boo, you.
Well, that got completely sidetracked.
Somebody said that they might
talking about
a movie now.
A what?
Mm-hmm. a Grey movie. So the Grey book is Grey, but from Christian's perspective.
Because that's not incredibly lazy.
Yeah, it's not incredibly lazy. And also, I read segments of that book. It reads like a fucking horror story. Because you're going into the mind of Christian Grey, and he's just and he's just this misogynistic asshole, and he keeps like, yeah, like I remember stuff like how in the beginning, you know, he hates his secretary for some reason, for no reason apparently, other than the fact that she does her job really well, and she's really beautiful, and does it.
She's also very blonde.
And also very blonde. And then, like, the first thought he had in his mind when Anastasia tripped into his office was how much he wanted to spank her. It's, like, absolutely terrifying. Like, why is he considered sexy? I have no idea. So, yeah.
Some people have strange fantasies.
Yeah, I get that. Like, I get S&M is a legit thing, and it's built on, you know, consent and whatnot, but that's just not. E.L. James just
still, though, some authors are better at portraying their fantasies in a understandable light than others, and others, like, I think it's pretty safe to say E.L. James is just about satisfying herself with her writing, and those other people who are already exactly like her and have her exact same tastes. I really don't think that she's a strong enough writer to present this in a way that anyone not already just 100% behind this could enjoy it.
Yeah, I guess.
I was forced to read dialogue from the book out loud. And how many times did I say that this was bad writing? Because, you know, commas are a good thing.
It's really bad writing. But what her husband actually... her husband, E.L. James's husband, is the one that ended up writing the script for both the for the last two movies, from what I heard correctly. Yeah, like apparently, if you guys heard about this, in the first movie, they actually had a competent director and a competent screenwriter, and apparently those two absolutely hated working with E.L. James because they were actually trying to make the material good, but then the studio gave E.L. James enough clout and power to constantly, you know, override their ruling, and they absolutely hated working with her because they were like, this woman has no idea what she is doing. And then, you know, lo and behold, big surprise, that director and that screenwriter dropped out after the first movie was done. They were like, we are not coming back.
Well, I could
tell that there's some element of talent behind the movie because it's a very pretty movie. It's very well shot, very well composed. Everything
is gorgeous.
Great. The production design is great. The photography is gorgeous. The color palette is such an excellent use of all the grays and such. It's an excellent use of a limited color palette. It looks amazing, but it's just damn boring.
Oh God!
I heard they used 50 Shades of Gray colors.
And
we're done.
Slade is now muted.
Yep.
Anyway.
Well, this has been a fun stream. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Hold on. I can't. Oh, crap. I can't unmute her. Oh, God. I can't unmute her.
Oh, you're not unmuted.
No, she's muted. I can't. It's grayed out. It's not letting me. Oh, crap.
Yeah, I don't know what you did.
There's a drop down here on the thing. It's not letting me fix it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
What the? Why would?
And did Ashton actually just leave? Oh my God.
Actually, there is an interesting conversation that I had with somebody recently on the matter of form versus content, which unfortunately I did not think of earlier. Otherwise, I would have written it into, okay, seriously, what the hell? Slade, you're gonna have to start sign languaging.
So what do you mean form versus content? What are you talking about exactly?
Let me get my visual aid real quick. If I can. Here we go. Sorry, Ashton. Slade, we might need to re-invite you.
Yeah.
Okay. She's probably gonna jump back in. So form versus content is the subject matter versus how it's presented. So 50 Shades of Grey, for example, the content in and of itself, it's not
I'm
great.
back.
There you go.
Yay! I live, and I don't have to sign anymore.
Yeah, I'm back too. Hi.
So 50 Shades of Grey, the content isn't great, but the form is terrible. That is to say that the dialogue is terrible, the plot is terrible, the writing is terrible, the prose is terrible. It's presented in a terrible way.
Yeah.
Now, to contrast with that, we have Lolita, which, if you're not familiar with,
Lolita,
it's about well, technically it's a hebephile, but for the sake of clarity, it's about a pedophile who falls in love with I believe she's 14-year-old girl named Lolita. And
pedophiles are bad.
And they traverse the country and have sex with each other, none of which is depicted, of course. But none of that's depicted.
Did Stanley Kubrick make a movie out of that?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, no, Stanley Kubrick
got
made
it right here.
There's two versions. There's one that Stanley Kubrick directed, which is in black and white, and then the newish one. It was in the 90s, I think, or early 2000s.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Jeremy Irons as Humphrey Humpert, as the pedophile.
Hubert, I believe.
Hubert, yeah.
Jeremy Irons is a good actor.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He is, yeah.
No, I'll say, okay, so it sounds like an absolutely terrible thing to write about, and to be fair, he's a terrible character, he's a terrible person, but this book is so beautifully written.
It is.
It sounds weird. This book is, in terms of the prose and the way everything's presented, this is one of the best books I've ever read. That sounds so weird to hear, but I swear you got to give it a shot. I was absolutely disgusted by the idea before I went into it. I went into it regardless.
Yep.
I actually really like this book.
Yeah. No, I hear it's like legitimately good literature, but I think also the way it's framed too, you're not supposed to sympathize with him. Like you are in a way, but you're pitying him more or less, because the reason why he became a pedophile was because, spoiler alert, I guess, his backstory was he was never able to get over this girl. When he was 14, he fell in love with another girl his age when he was 14 years old, and then she ended up dying on him, and he was never able to get over that, and that's why he fixates on Dolores, Lolita, the girl, because he was never able to overcome that tragedy, and that's why he likes little girls, because he's projecting all that trauma onto her, I guess. Right?
Everybody in the comments.
Yeah, I get that.
Pedophilia is bad. Write it now.
It is.
It's just Lolita.
None of
it's
us are debating that.
That exists, and it is.
But as character motivation, it makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, objectively,
psychology behind it is sound.
I just want everybody in the comments to write pedophilia is bad.
Yeah.
Well, a pedo book is better than 50 Shades.
Oh my God! But again, like, I don't think, I would hope to God anyway. I haven't read the book, from beginning to end. But how was it framed, Kyle? Was it framed for the reader to sympathize with him, or to
the
kind of?
The entire thing came across because it's presented in first person from Hubert's perspective, so it sounds like a confession / explanation of sorts. He's going through the whole thing. here's how I met this girl. Here's how we fell in love.
Tinder.
And here's why he ends up doing what he does in the end of the book, which I will not explain because spoilers.
Yeah.
The entire thing is him attempting to justify everything. So on one hand, he knows what he does is considered bad by societal norms, but he still feels compelled to do it. So it's not so much that you're supposed to really sympathize with him because what he's doing is so far out there that no reasonable person would.
No.
But on the other hand, he's not like the absolute bottom of the barrel. So
yeah.
You're not supposed to really empathize with him on much level, but the prose is written so damn well that you still find a lot of enjoyment in just how beautifully everything's explained.
Yeah, no, I get the, I understand the method, the crazy methodology behind it, because like, it's kind of like watching a show like Breaking Bad, right? Like, that Walter White has turned into this monster, but in some sick, weird way, you're actually rooting for him, right? But you're not supposed to, because...
Well, Walter White is different because you saw him start as a good person and evolve into a bad person.
Well, yeah, but still, regardless, he did become a bad person, and you're still supposed to kind of be on his side. And I guess the same with Game of Thrones, right? And nobody comes out of that. I haven't seen the show myself, but like from what I hear, nobody comes out of that series smelling like roses. Everyone is, incredibly Machiavellian and scheming and cunning, and they're all out to save their own necks, right? At whatever cost.
More or less.
Yeah.
Snap. Now I'm thinking about trailers. Westworld is coming out with season 2 this summer, I think. If you haven't seen Westworld, either the movie or the series, it is amazing.
I actually haven't seen the first season.
It is like Game of Thrones set in the Wild Wild West with everybody's a robot.
I've only seen the first episode. It's really good, but like I found like the first it packs a lot. I feel like I need to get back on it again. But like
the whole series, it is amazing.
How many episodes per season?
I think 10 that they it's either 10 or 12. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's actually really, really good.
Oh yeah, no, God, like just the production design on that show is freaking amazing. The concept is really good too. So, yeah. So I have to get on to watching that. There's a lot of shows I need to start watching. Speaking of which, guys, good news. I finally got Kyle started watching Stranger Things, so that's thanks to me.
I was actually just going to bring that up. I'm up to episode 6.
Oh, come on! That's so slow. You're going so slow.
I'm sorry. I got caught off track by My Hero Academia.
Oh, that anime?
Yes, good diversion.
Yeah.
It's a binge. You have to binge it.
I'm over here on episode 0.
Yeah, but you're liking it, right?
Oh, both are great shows.
Yeah, good. Who's your favorite character again in Stranger Things? Hopper, right? Yeah, Hopper is like right up your alley.
I always prefer like the anti-hero style character, so someone who does good but doesn't necessarily do good things to achieve that result. Sort of the chaotic.
Oh, you're going to love that. You're going to love the ending. I won't say what it is, but I think the ending will leave you quite satisfied. And then I can't wait for you to get on to season 2. What's happened? I guess you can't say because it's spoilers for anyone who might not have watched it. But yeah, what has been your favorite part so far? So,
say that again.
What's been your favorite part so far, or your favorite episode? A scene that stuck out to you?
For the sake of avoiding spoilers, I will just say Hopper's investigation.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. But Slade, have you seen it?
Of course, I binged it with my friend Dan, and I'm not going to say because what my favorite part of the series is, just because Kyle hasn't watched it all yet, but
definitely don't.
Everybody knows the last episode.
No.
Oh, the last episode. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, but I also love the how it's structured. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but they say like the show, what the creators aimed to do was the show was supposed to tell 3 different types of stories. Like the parents, the adults, they're caught in like a Steven Spielberg type of movie, where and the teens are caught in like a slasher Freddy Krueger type of story, you know, the horror movies from the 80s and 90s. And then the kids are caught in like a Goonies type situation. So yeah, like I love how they pay homage to all 3 of those types of genres and whatnot. It's really cool how they managed to achieve that.
Yeah, I can see that. It's pretty clever.
Yeah, it is. My favorite character, I just realized, is the science teacher. He's great.
Hey, he is fun. He's very supportive.
Yeah, very supportive teacher. I would have loved a teacher like that in my childhood.
I may have stayed in the sciences if I had a teacher like that back in middle school.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And John Moriarty, yeah, that's very succinct description. It's Stephen King mixed with Steven Spielberg. Absolutely. It's a very lethal combination.
Yeah. So, now, who's your favorite character in My Hero Academia?
Well, I'll say Deku's probably my favorite character, with Uraraka as second favorite. Frankly, I think that they make a good team, so that's all good.
I've never seen this show. What is it about?
Basically, do you want to, or
you go ahead, dude.
Okay, so basically it's a world where 80% of the world's population has superpowers, where superhero is a genuine career path you can follow. They have colleges and universities dedicated to training people to become superheroes.
Right.
And the main character is Izuku Midoriya, who is one of the 20% of people who does not have superpowers, which is a bummer for him because all he wants in life is to be a superhero. So you follow him as in the early episodes, he meets his hero, All Might, who mild spoilers, but not major spoilers. Just, I mean, the whole premise of the show revolves around this event. So, he All Might passes on his quirk to him. Quirk is what they call superpowers. He passes on his power to him,
which is,
but then it turns out that this power is way too much for him to handle, and from there he just has to be clever in how he learns to use it. You're following him as he learns to channel that power in such a way that won't completely decimate him. And he has to get clever with it. He has to learn to work around it instead of it being an end-all ultimate power sort of thing.
I see.
You meet a lot of colorful characters along the way too when he gets into the Hero Academy. It's a lot of fun. It's a really enjoyable show.
Frankly, I think that the different characters, how they interact with each other, as well as how unique their powers are what do a lot to drive the show so powerfully. Not to mention how fun just the universe they've set up is.
No, I should check that one out. And it's like a comedy adventure type thing?
Kind of, yeah. With some absolutely amazing music. If you saw the Scorch Trials video that we put up recently, during the bit where
I love the title card. And the title card art is so cute. Kyle crawling in the desert.
Sylvie Chan does great work. Wait till you see what we have planned.
Did a great job on that one.
Oh God, yeah, I can't imagine.
Ooh. Now I'm excited too.
Wait, is it the one that we discussed?
Yeah, Slade has a slight idea of what the title card will be.
Yes! Oh my God, they're gonna love it.
Yeah. How long is the 50
I'm both excited and terrified.
How long is the 50 Shades review?
Um,
Long.
Well, so the basic process when making an episode is after I've written the script and I've filmed everything, I send Ashton the raw footage, broken down to just the parts that I think he needs, and he takes it from there, adding in the footage, title cards, extra jokes, things like that, music, and normally I'll send him like 17, 18 minutes of raw footage, and he turns that into a 28, 30-minute video. This time I sent him 36 minutes of raw footage. So, Ashton, what do you think that's going to translate to? 50 minutes?
It's going to be big. It's going to be pretty big. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure that Dragon Ball Evolution was like 50 minutes or roundabout. Well, yeah, upper 40s at least. So I think it's going to be a bit longer than that. Maybe slightly over an hour, possibly.
Dragon Ball was 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
40 minutes?
Yeah.
I thought it was in the higher 40s.
Wait, and how much raw footage
shows what I know.
do you send him? How much raw footage do you send him, Kyle?
This time I sent him 36 minutes.
Only? Only?
That's just keep in mind, that's about double what I normally send him.
No, I know, but like,
yeah, like,
why is
he just sends like the audio of him talking, the video of him in the chair, that sort of thing.
But is
it's up to me.
Like, do you cut out all of your bloopers, and you just
not all of them? He leaves a few in.
You pick the takes. Do you pick the takes that you like the most, and then you send it over? Like, you cut out all
basically, the yes.
Okay, because for me, it takes like half a day just to film one of my video essays or something like that. Yeah.
Everyone's getting excited.
The good news is that while he's working on this, I actually have a lot of progress going with the next episode, which, if you guys have not heard yet in the chat, is going to be A Wrinkle in Time.
What?
Which will be the opening joke is going to be, this is the third time this year that my review schedule is dictated by what's coming out in theaters.
Yay!
That movie, though, the new one that's coming out, visually speaking, it looks really, really awesome.
Oh, it does. It definitely looks a lot better than the 2003 version that they came out with, which, I mean, the special effects did not age well at all.
No.
Especially not that monster Pegasus thing that they try to create.
Isn't Oprah in this one?
Yep.
She's in the new one.
This
about the old version. They try to explain what like folding, however you want to call it, the actual wrinkle of space aspect. I see what they're trying to do, and I do like what they're trying to do. It's just that visually it doesn't carry very well, I'll say.
Event Horizon jokes.
Yeah.
There we go.
Was the Wrinkle in Time book, is it as big and epic as the Disney movie is portraying it? Because I remember I remember it was assigned to me in school, but I never ended up finishing it. I think I jumped books. I switched to a different book because I wasn't adhering to this to A Wrinkle in Time. But I remember it being like a really small book. Like, none of it felt that epic, aside from the fact they traveled to, I guess, a different dimension.
Different planets, actually.
Different planets, sorry. And as grand as that sounds, like, I never remember feeling that excited about that. I'm like, okay, so they went to a planet. Maybe I just didn't like the book, but it never felt like this super big grand adventure that the movie is pitching it to be.
Well, that's actually a problem that Madeline L'Engle had getting the book published initially, because she was studying a lot of quantum physics when she wrote that, so a lot of that carried into the book. And a lot of publishers were worried initially that it would be too complicated for kids because it was clearly aimed at kids. The problem is they just talk about how things like time is a tangible concept Like, it's actually a tangible thing. And she doesn't really do a lot to explain what that means. So, I mean, you give that to a 9-year-old, and they're not going to have any idea what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah. But that is what she did. She wrote a lot of that stuff in the book, which is probably why I lost interest in it.
Yeah, if it's not.
I remember I read it.
You go ahead, Ashton.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna say I remember I read it when I was a kid, and the thing that kind of blew my mind, there was one bit. For some reason, that's not what stuck out to me. The thing that I remember most from that is one bit where they were going up to like a wall and they just collapse it into nothing, and they explain that they just condensed all the atoms together. And he's saying, "You would be the size of a head of a pin if we condensed all your atoms together." I'm like, what the hell? What kind of stuff?
Yeah, I remember that line, and I was like, I know there's a lot of air in humans when you consider on a molecular level. That still sounds a little small to me.
Yeah. But yeah, when I was a kid, I just accepted, and I was like, "Whoa, this changes everything."
Actually, I've been reading a lot about black holes and whatnot recently for fun. Also, because I get really bored at work. Don't tell my bosses.
Yeah.
I know what you do.
Anyway, so I've been reading about things like the Schwarzschild radius, which is the size that you will be reduced to if your entire body collapsed into the size of a black hole. And to achieve that, human would be eventually smaller than a grain of sand by a significant degree. The entire Earth, if the entire Earth, whole planet, was brought down to its Schwarzschild radius, it would be the size of a golf ball.
Wow.
Black holes are weird.
Yeah, black holes are weird. And like, we still have no idea what's inside of them, right? Because any technology we throw in is just going to get destroyed or obliterated.
Anything you could throw in would be, yes. They're insanely dense, like to the point where we can't properly fathom it. There's this one black hole out there called like the Destroyer of Worlds.
Nice. Wow. I'm guessing a sci-fi fan named it. A sci-fi fan totally. They're like, I'm a failed sci-fi writer, but now I'm a scientist. I'm going to name it that.
No, I mean, you need to go out and you need to see a scale of how big this thing is estimated, because the entire solar system is just a blip inside of that thing. It's so big, it's absolutely terrifying to me. And also, black holes move. They're not stationary. Well, a lot of them move. There's still a lot of theories involved in this, but roaming black holes.
The universe is a big place.
Oh yeah.
Well, like what's stopping a black hole from just suddenly? What's stopping a black hole from drifting towards Earth?
See, that's the thing. Nothing.
Oh wait, you said 14-year-old girls saying, "Damn, girl, you look fat."
What? What is this?
Contact. A little bit cut out there.
Kids
Critical
are
moment.
Tide Pods.
Kids are eating Tide Pods.
Kids are eating Tide Pods.
Yes, unfortunately.
Safety labels off of everything, please.
God, yeah. Yeah, 2018's getting off to a great start, guys. The Logan Paul thing, Tide Pods, stuff in the news.
Should old acquaintance be forgotten, never brought to mind?
Yeah, let's hope it
we'll take a cup of Tide Pods, dear, for the sake of old Lang Syne.
Yeah. But, like, would you say, Ash, like, when you do start editing an episode, would you say that sometimes the episode gets rewritten a little bit too in the process of editing?
A little bit sometimes.
Sometimes?
Like there are sometimes he proposes jokes that I think don't quite fit, and I try to work around it, or we talk about it. I give my suggestions. We talk it out, decide what kind of gag would work best. I think the one that was most heavily rewritten, that would either be Prince of Persia or Max Payne, because Max Payne, that was something. Huh?
I would say the Max Payne one.
Yeah.
Prince of Persia was rewritten a little bit, but Max Payne was.
That was massive.
Back and forth like 3 times.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like Max Payne 2, was that not your like first or second collaboration? Like like the second time you guys worked together?
No, this.
I think it was like the 3rd or 4th time.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys were still pretty new to one another, but
yeah.
I
think it was the 3rd episode. Yeah.
Right. So like,
yes.
What's Kyle like as a boss?
Terrible. He doesn't pay us.
The next few seconds will determine Ashton's future on the show.
Oh no.
Yeah, Kyle, dude, come on, you're making Patreon money, right? Like, dole it out for God's sake.
Oh, yeah, I'm rolling in that Patreon money.
Yeah.
He pays me enough to buy coffee. But yeah. Actually, we get along pretty well. He's very open to the ideas I propose. We're not perfectly one-to-one in our taste. Like, I still remember that episode where you said that you did not care for jazz music. But I think that was in John Carter. Like, for some reason you were I remember a bit where you were playing this stock jazz music. Bum ba da da dum ba da. You turn to the camera and say, "I don't get this." I don't know, it was a gag or something. But I digress. Yeah. Well, anyway. But yeah, we get on well. We work well enough together.
Okay, that's good.
And I will say, Ashton actually does come up with some pretty good jokes every once in a while. The Scorch Trials review, for example, the bit with Alan Tudyk,
that was
Miller and Griffith did nothing wrong bit, and there's one more that I'm thinking of, but those were both his ideas.
Please enjoy these unrelated images of people who have done nothing wrong.
Oh, The Nightmare Becomes Reality. That was also his.
Oh, yeah.
I need to watch that episode, but like, yeah, I think you guys make a good team. And the last, this is a shameless plug for myself, but the last essay I finally posted up back in January. If anyone's interested, it's on my channel.
It's actually really good, so everyone should check that out. It has full endorsement from me.
Yay!
Yeah. I worked with an editor on that one, and we achieved a lot of visual stuff that I would have never been able to do by myself, because like I'm just so technically not inclined when it comes to like After Effects software and everything. But yeah, I found it was really rewarding, and it was a lot of fun, just like bouncing ideas off of one another, and like just asking what he thought we should do when I run into editor's block, which is a thing, right, Ash? Do you get that a lot when you're?
Sometimes it's a point where I have a stretch of dialogue and I'm thinking, how do I provide video for this?
Yeah.
Like, especially, there's one bit during the Scorch Trials where he's talking about a betrayal and all of these things that are just not in the movie. All of these events that are not in the movie, and I don't know how I'm supposed to edit for that most of the time. So I had to get really clever putting in things that were just really tangentially related. Like, I think I included a bit from the Charlton Heston version of Julius Caesar.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, that was tricky to manage.
At two Brutus?
That's also. Yeah. I believe in that one he was played by John Gielgud. But I digress. Extra bonus points to anybody in the chat who knows who John Gielgud is. You know who you are.
Also, we've had requests for Leia to come out and make an appearance.
Leia actually has been on screen as long as I have.
We want Leia.
Right here.
Go get the damn cat.
We've got Leia. We've got Leia.
She's trying to nap, and she looks kind of annoyed.
Yeah, Leia's
Who's a cutie?
Cat, so yeah. But Ash, I'm just out of pure curiosity. You haven't seen my video yet, right? My video.
I'm afraid not. No, sorry.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. No, I'm just wondering because I'd actually would like your opinion on it if you're inclined to watch it.
Yeah, I'll be sure to give it a go.
Yeah, please do. And everyone in the chat, please watch it too.
Hang on, I'm about to be attacked.
You have your charge. Go to it, chat people.
Come here.
John, real quick.
Another adorable pet?
Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, no, I was just saying, do we have another adorable pet?
We do.
But you were going to say something that was important.
I was just name dropping for Sylvie. She, the title cards are designed by an Italian artist, actually, who I found through DeviantArt, named Sylvie Chan. And on every video that we use her artwork for, you can find a description, or you can find a link to her gallery in the description.
I have a doggy on me. All is good.
I can't see Puppy. Where is
He's
Puppy?
right here. There he is. He's being a good boy right now.
There's Puppy.
Aww. Who's a
Being
good
a
little
very good
baby
boy.
doggy?
Let's keep it up. Yeah, that's my good. Keep it up.
How many dogs do you have? 2?
Just the 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Asking for another one, but my hubby says no. He says no more puppies. We have enough.
Fair enough. Dogs are expensive, so.
You can never have enough puppies.
Yeah, true.
Until
but
you have to
you
clean
can't
up after them, then you can have enough.
money.
Yeah, you talking now? Yeah, he's happy for work now.
Yeah.
It's a cutie. Aww.
He's a baby.
So,
And he'll
like-
step on me off.
Yeah. Ashton, what was your pick for Best Picture for the Oscars that's coming up pretty soon?
Okay, so I was able to whittle it down like so. Like Get Out and Dunkirk were nominated, but they were released way too early in the year. There is no way anything released that early in the year is ever going to win. So I'm just dropping those right off the bat. Then there's Darkest Hour, The Post, and The Phantom Thread, all of which are seemingly tailor-made to win under the old Oscar system, but the Oscars are trying to show how much they've changed, that they're the new Oscars under new systems and new management for the modern age. So they're probably going to avoid the obvious choices, so I am discounting those.
Okay.
So that leaves us with Call Me By Your Name, 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbings, Missouri, and oh, I forgot Shape of Water, but we're discounting that one because it's too genre for Oscar tastes.
I really wish you did. Oh God, I hope you're wrong about that one. I really want Shape of Water.
I do too. I would love for them to surprise me, but I don't think they've changed that much. I don't think they've changed enough to do something that genre. So I'm discounting Shape of Water as well. So that brings us down to Call Me By Your Name, 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbings, Missouri, and Lady Bird. Now, with Call Me By Your Name, it does win points for being a mature representation of a homosexual relationship, but it also loses points because it's between an older and a younger man, and that younger man is right on the edge of being completely unacceptable, with some people even saying no, 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 because that younger man is 17. So that's really uncomfortable, and a lot of people are going to avoid it like a plague just because of that.
Yeah, well,
so again, it wins points, but it loses points.
Yeah.
I think they'll just be content to say they nominated it, and they will quietly not give it the win. So that leaves us with 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbings, Missouri, and Lady Bird, and I haven't seen either one of those. I've heard they're amazing. I'll have to watch them to figure out which one I think is most likely to win. That is my Oscar breakdown for Best Picture. Hope you enjoyed it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm guessing I want Shape of Water to win, but if I had to be objective about it, I would put my money on 3 Billboards. I think that one's going to take it.
Frankly, I'd love Dunkirk to win something, but I really can't I mean, Ashton's analysis sounds pretty on point, so I don't think.
Well, Dunkirk is nominated for other stuff. It's nominated for cinematography. I don't know if anything else.
Just because it was released too early in the year to win Best Picture doesn't mean that it's discounted for other awards. I could definitely see it winning cinematography, for example, just like I could see Get Out winning Best Director or Screenplay or something like that. And I definitely think that even though The Phantom Thread is discounted for Best Picture, I do believe Daniel Day-Lewis will win Best Actor for that film, since it's his final role and all that.
Yeah.
Who else is nominated for Best Actor?
I have no idea, but I think his reason for winning is good enough. So I'm going to look that up right quick.
I really want Jones. And also, let's see. I also wanted to win because they use sign language, American Sign Language, and I'm a sign language interpreter.
Oh, not
what movie are you talking about? You glitched out there, I think. Shape of Water?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
So that was actually accurate sign language, what she was doing in the movie?
From what I saw from the trailer, yeah. But I actually haven't seen the movie. But I love me some Doug Jones.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, Doug Jones. He was amazing in that movie, in the suit. And Richard Jenkins' character. Loved his character. He was amazing.
If anybody knows Doug Jones, please get him in contact with me. I would love to do makeup for him.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a fun fact. They're doing a remake of Nosferatu, starring Guess Who?
What? Starring who?
Yeah. Guess who?
My boy, Doug Jones.
It's Doug Jones. Yeah, it's Doug Jones.
Okay.
Me too.
Who's directing him? That's the thing.
I don't know. I'll have to look that up right quick.
Yeah. But you know what else they're remaking is, of all things, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but the director is going to be the same director of Paddington Bear, which apparently those two movies are like legitimately great. Like if you go on Rotten Tomatoes, both those movies have stupidly high ratings. The critics and the audiences love it. They say both of those movies are visually stunning. So yeah, I'm interested to see what he'd do for Willy Wonka and like what?
Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate.
What other movies did this director do, or did this company do?
The director did the Paddington Bear movies.
Oh, okay, yeah. All I heard was bear. I was confused.
Oh, okay.
Talking about.
Come with me, and you'll see a world of OSHA violations.
Yeah.
I saw the first Paddington Bear movie. I don't know if I'd call it great, but it wasn't bad.
I heard the second movie really knocked it out of the park, though. People and I'm really curious. I haven't seen either of those movies, but now I'm curious to see what, how a movie about a child, a childhood icon has swept the hearts of so many snooty critics. So I'm interested to see what all the big fuss is about. But the movie, just judging by a few of the shots I've seen, they do look visually stunning. The production design is really nice, and he definitely has the whole whimsical feel down. So yeah, I would give Willy Wonka to him. I'm interested to see what he can do.
It's possible. It's just a question of
Johnny Depp,
because they just released another remake. Like what? When did the Johnny Depp version come out?
It's like 10 years ago.
That's still too early. I'm only giving this.
It was not a well-liked version of it, though. It got a lot of flack from fans of the older film and fans of the book, and a lot of people kind of turned on it. And it's not. It has a lot of the backlash has died down because time has passed, but it's still not a well-liked version. So I don't think it's too soon to do a reboot of the property.
You know what? That is a good point. You have a good point there.
Yeah, but at the same time, this is just Hollywood dragging their feet through being completely unwilling to try something new. which is endlessly annoying to me.
They made 50 Shades of Grey, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can make a movie out of 50 Shades of Grey, then there's no reason why you should even be working in Hollywood.
And yet, still, no single Warhammer movie. I would love to see a movie based on the Horus Heresy.
That if they got the right people, I think could be really great.
What's Warhammer again? Is that a comic book?
Giant space marines go around and they blow up demons. Basically, I actually haven't read any Warhammer books. That's really Slade's area of expertise.
That's right. Got the Warhammer tattoo.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
those are all
As
the.
a kid, I thought it was a spin-off of Warcraft because I was a dumb child.
No, it's all
Seriously, haven't heard of Warhammer?
completely sci-fi and amazing.
What?
Ashton,
It's all
haven't heard of Warhammer?
Oh, I've heard of Warhammer. I never got into it. I might someday.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I first heard about it when I was a dumb child, that was my story there.
The stuff they have in Warhammer is really fascinating, especially because humanity is now effectively led by, and Slade, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, by a god emperor who's basically an insanely powerful psychic who more or less could blow up the earth with a single thought.
Nah, that's pretty accurate.
I thought of a joke, but it would be too easy.
Oh,
You thought of it
God.
too. We're going to keep it all to ourselves.
Yeah. Who's watching Black Panther?
I saw it.
You saw it?
I saw it yesterday. It was great.
Oh, really? Fantastic.
It reminded, you know what? It was like every single Marvel film that I've seen that Disney has done. It's great. Yeah, it did suffer from some slower pacing, but that's just a Marvel trope in general. But it was done really, really well, and I enjoyed myself.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it. So far, the two weakest Marvel movies for me have been the first Thor movie and Ant-Man.
I like Ant-Man.
I could not stand Iron Man 2, though.
The one I actually just actively dislike is the first Thor movie. But I liked Ant-Man, but I thought it could have been better. I was like, it feels kind of, your generic comedy action movie. I don't know. I feel like it could have been better. So I'm interested to see what the
real problem with Ant-Man is as how it should have ended, presented everything. They actually raised a good point in that the way the movie wraps up, Ant-Man's kind of superfluous. They didn't really need him to stop the final bad guy. But I still had fun with it. The jokes were amusing.
It was a fun ride. And just like, out of all the Marvel films, that I think is the best, Doctor Strange.
Visually,
I love that movie.
Visually, it is the best, hands down. It's not even close. Anyone else?
Yeah. Doctor Strange was, God, visually that was absolutely stunning and mind-boggling. I'm pretty sure the VFX people who worked on that movie are now blind now.
They deserve Oscars.
Oh,
Yeah.
to mention this, so while I was watching, I just put on Doctor Strange, and I was watching. It was the third eye scene. I take a look at my husband. I'm like, "The hell did you put in my drink?" Seems that the story writers probably smoked some salvia right before they wrote it, and that's what they saw.
And those fingers have hands. And those fingers have hands.
Sing you. I know it's not me because I'm here. Is it Tamsin? Can I say hi to her?
I really enjoyed Thor Ragnarok.
That one was good.
Oh yeah. That's
fun.
a damn good movie.
That was a fun movie. And again, like I didn't have any I wasn't expecting anything too much because I found the Thor movies in general to be kind of weak, but that one was so much fun. and definitely made up for.
I mean, I knew going in that Taika Waititi was the director, and I loved his work on What We Do in the Shadows. And I'd heard amazing things about what he did for Hunt for the Wilder People, although I still have not seen that movie. I was kind of worried because he did not seem like the kind of guy to do a big action epic, but I really enjoyed it. In fact, I think I liked the action in that better than I did in most any of the other Marvel movies I can think of off the top of my head. It was just so much fun. I think that's the most fun I've ever had at a Marvel movie. I mean,
yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it also had heart. And just seeing Anthony Hopkins pretending to be Loki.
Oh, that was so perfect!
Oh, no, fucking perfect. I just love this line delivery of when he sees Thor. He's like, "Oh shit!" It's like, I'm done. This has me. It's awesome. And then freaking
and those actors doing the play.
Yeah.
And
so
God, that was just so beautiful.
Little known fact about Anthony Hopkins, he actually wrote a waltz.
He wrote a what?
I want to hear the Anthony Hopkins waltz.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm looking it up now.
Interesting. Yeah. Well,
what do you know? That's literally the second result on YouTube.
That what he composed the waltz?
Because, like, you know, he's this big actor, and he composed an amazing waltz that, you know, someone found, and they actually played it, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Some of these actors, they're just so multi-talented. Yeah. Like Daniel Day-Lewis, apparently he likes to cobble shoes on his off time.
Huh.
Yeah, did you guys not know that?
I found the waltz. I'm listening to the waltz. It's
did not
wonderful.
know that about Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, no, like, because he's such a reclusive actor, right? Like, he doesn't do press junkets or interviews or anything. He's that good of an actor. He doesn't have to promote himself. And, like, you know, during his private life, the only thing anyone really knows about him is that he likes to cobble shoes. He likes to make shoes. And, yeah, I think that's great. Yeah.
I like to do nail art.
I'm watching the video of the Anthony Hopkins waltz. It keeps cutting back to Anthony Hopkins, and he's just got this big dumb grin on his face. He's so happy to hear it being played. It's so charming.
If I remember correctly, the first time they did that, they like surprised him with it. Like he was at some function, and he didn't know that they were going to be performing that for him.
Yeah,
here's your waltz.
How old is Anthony Hopkins?
Oh, yes. Sorry, we've been saying it wrong. It is Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Sorry, Sir Anthony Hopkins. How old is Sir Anthony Hopkins?
Sir Anthony Hopkins is
80-something?
I remember this off the top of my head, totally not just Googling it.
Okay.
He was born in 1937. This is information which I completely remembered off the top of my head and did not just Google.
So he's 80 years old.
That would make him 80 years old.
Yeah. Wow. And he's still going. That's really impressive.
He's actually a year or two younger than my grandmother.
Aw, that's nice. Yeah. But, yeah, like, it's nice to, it's good that he's still working. Helen Mirren is still working. In fact,
she's great.
Oh, she's wonderful. I can watch her forever. But it's like awesome too how like she like I think she was always one of those actresses that got a ton of work but was never that mainstream until she got that Oscar nomination for The Queen. And then like her
Helen Mirren was born in 1945, so she's only in her 70s. She's a very young actress at only in her
70s.
Sorry,
That's weird.
Just noticed that I said only in her 70s, and I just had to make fun of that.
Like she's only 4 years older than my mom. That's kind of weird to think. But also too like this is really random to bring up. Have you guys seen her body?
Body?
Because she
What?
Helen Mirren's body, like, she still has the body of a 30-year-old. And I don't know how she does it.
CrossFit.
CrossFit? Yeah, I'm not joking. If you actually Google what her body looks like, she still looks like she's like 27 or something. I have no idea how she does that, but I'm like, yeah, I want that when I'm like 70 years old, please.
Virgin sacrifices.
Virgin sacrifices, that's probably.
Well, you know, they all worship Satan down in Hollywood.
Yeah, the Illuminati, Scientology, that's what you get in return.
All hail Santa. I mean, Satan. I mean,
did you hear about the dyslexic devil worshiper? He sold his soul to Santa.
That's funny. Yeah. But anyway.
My painkillers are kicking in from my fall earlier. Snuggled up with a warm puppy. I'm going to go to bed.
Okay.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.
Well,
see y'all later.
Later.
Chip, chip, cheerio.
When is your review going to be done, you think? Kyle?
Insert one awkward
silence.
I
don't know. It's in Ashton's hands now.
What?
Oh, great. Yeah, push it all on me. Why don't you?
You've got the footage, man!
Oh, yeah. I suppose it is all on me.
Do you not give him deadlines or anything like that?
I try not to be too harsh. The only thing that I really hold him to firmly would be the anniversary specials.
Yeah.
I mean, the Scorch Trials one's not to shame Ashton or anything, but that one was actually 2 weeks later than expected. But he kept me informed of all the problems beforehand, so it was like,
yeah.
Well,
I had to buy a new computer. That's how bad it got.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I'm currently on a brand new laptop right now. Well,
what do you
sort
work
of. Oh, what?
What kind of computer do you work on?
Oh, right now I've got a HP Envy. It's got one of those new Ryzen 5 processors. Okay. Has 8 gigabytes of RAM installed. My old laptop had 16 gigabytes of RAM, but I was not able to find a laptop in my price range that I could just transfer the old RAM into the new one. So I'll just have to save up money and buy more RAM. I use Premiere Pro for all of my editing needs, and it serves me well when it's not bugging out insanely.
Oh God, yeah. I've had those.
Yeah. Recently, what happened was that everything was purple. I don't know why, but the preview screen was purple. And it didn't show up in the exports unless I had a vector image, just a Photoshop file of a single image with no background. That would come out purple. That would stay purple no matter what I did. That was purple. I thought I got it to work again, but then I noticed something. All of the red values and the blue values got switched. So everybody had blue skin, and if they had blue eyes, then those eyes looked red. It was kind of crazy. They looked like aliens.
I've never had anything that crazy happen before, ever. That's insane.
Yeah. I was going nuts. I uninstalled and reinstalled Premiere Pro a billion times. I installed older versions. I went all the way back to like 5.0. That's how far back I went, because the one I'm currently on is like 12.0. I went all the way back to 5.0 just to see if I could eventually get it to work. And it still wasn't working. And it turns out what I had to do was reinstall Creative Cloud, which takes care of all the installing and such. So, yes. Hello, Chris Quijano. I don't know. I'm sorry. Yes. Praise the purple gods.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the chat.
Oh my God. Yeah.
All hail to the gods of the purple.
Is being an editor something you want to do eventually? Is that what you're working up towards?
It would be fun. I'd be more interested in being a voice actor, to be honest. Although I do enjoy You know, I'm ashamed to admit it, but I only just noticed the name of this live stream.
Oh, that's cute. I didn't even notice that. That's funny.
I have my fun.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I have my fun too when I make the credits, for instance. Whenever I do a character for the show, I like to just say, like in the Death Note episode. Did you see that one?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. For the Death Note episode, I had a little credit that said, and featuring Ryuk as himself, just because I couldn't resist. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that was
voice for Ryuk. That was really good.
Yeah, dude, see if you can do the.
All right, I'll cop to that one.
Shall
we begin?
I have to say, if I had to be an actor, I would absolutely choose the voice acting route. That to me is the dream job. You don't have to worry about makeup. You don't have to worry about showing up the set in like crazy conditions. You just show up in the studio in your pajamas. As long as your voice box is okay, then like you're good to go.
That's easier said than done because the voice is really delicate and you have to find a way to do these crazy voices without blowing it out. You have to keep it sustainable.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Like I can do great Mickey Mouse, but I can't keep it going forever.
Right.
It'll go out very soon.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to trivialize it. I know it's like.
Oh no.
Yeah. How?
No, I get you.
Yeah, I know it's not easy at all, but like versus the other stuff other actors are put through, like voice actor, at least it looks like a cushy job, but I'm sure it isn't. There's also still the pressure to perform and whatnot.
Well, I mean, you got to deal with the fact that they get paid almost nothing, which is why they do so many jobs at the same time. And then there's Sean, I don't remember his last name, the voice of Goku. Apparently passed out once while recording one of his 10-minute long screams for the show.
Oh my God. Wait, did they don't get paid a lot?
Not as much as full body actor. Like,
not as much as a full body actor.
They're not as mainstream a hit, I guess. They're not as big a name. If you see a voice actor on the street, unless you're a mega nerd fanboy type, you probably won't even know it's them. Like, can you tell me what Chris Sabat looks like? The voice of Piccolo, Vegeta.
Yeah, I actually.
If you passed him by,
I'm one of those people.
Oh well, never mind.
Yeah,
never mind. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. He can go to a Starbucks and he'll be just fine. Nobody's gonna notice him. Yeah. Like Tom Cruise, he goes to a Starbucks, he gets swarmed.
That's kind of what I like too, the anonymity of it all. Like, of course, I would love like success at that level, but like the idea of just being approached, by strangers constantly or being followed around by cameras, I wouldn't want that. That would just
be weird. That would be super weird.
I don't know how they deal with that sort of attention because I'm such an introvert. Yeah. But yeah. Oh, there's a documentary on voice actors. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah. I just remembered when I did an audiobook a few years back, which was called The Dark Lady. That was a lot of fun. In that one, there was a character who showed up at one point who I didn't know he was going to be a major recurring character. He was this big, hulking, hideous-looking fellow. And I gave him the deepest voice I could manage. It was almost monstrous. But then he became a major character who would not go away, and my voice was killing me.
Oh my God, no.
You think it's just going to be a little character, so you go all out, you do a voice you can't sustain because you want to distinguish them, but then keep coming back.
Yeah. Actually, I always wondered how long it took for the people who do audiobooks, how long each recording session takes. Because if they do the whole book in a day, that would kill you.
No, you do not do it in one take. Like I record for, I used to record for like an hour at a time, more like an hour and a half, really. And then I would go over all that footage. About 45 minutes in, when I've only made it through 15 minutes of the footage, and I've been cutting out all the and the what was the line again? All that stuff. When I've cut all that out, I'm about 45 minutes in, and I'm like, I'm just the worst. I just don't want to hear my voice again for the rest of my life at that point. Yeah. So, if you put in about 6 hours of work per day, you can get an hour of finished material at the end of each day for 6 hours of work. And my audiobook was like 16 hours long.
Wow.
So that wore on me.
Was this a school project or was this a professional?
No, it was semi-professional. I was with a program called the Audiobook Creation Exchange, ACX. And I got in touch with an author by the name of Dawn Chandler. I auditioned for doing the audiobook for her book, The Dark Lady. And I got it. I went through, and you can find the finished audiobook on audible.com.
Oh, nice. And it's called The Dark Lady?
Yep, The Dark Lady.
Nice. Okay.
I should warn you that it gets
R-rated?
How to put it? In a couple of places, yes.
Okay.
But it's only in a couple of spots. For the most part, it is a more straightforward novel. Although it was enough to get some bad reviews from a couple of prudes.
No, whatever.
So that was,
get over it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle, like, would that not be your dream job to do audiobooks? To just read you're literally reading for a living.
Something like that I think would be a lot of fun. Unlike Ashton, I don't have as good a voice for things like voice acting and audiobook reading, I don't think. So it probably wouldn't come off terribly well. Frankly, I'd rather just work on the show and my writing.
Right. Yeah. But if you guys could do an audiobook, like read your own audiobook, losing my words. If you guys can do an audiobook, what book would it be?
Either Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or The Wheel of Time. That would be so much fun.
You could totally pull
getting to do all of the villainous monologues for the dark one. That would be so good. Yeah. Or Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, just because it's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
You could pull that off. Your voice, the resonance of your voice, I think totally matches the personality of that book. Yeah.
Wait, which book?
Hitchhiker's Guide?
Oh, yeah.
What was the other one called?
This is the story of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah, exactly. What's the other one called again? The other book?
The Wheel of Time.
The Wheel of Time.
I haven't
It's
heard of
a series that the fans have been asking Kyle if he's read forever. If you go through the comments of any of his videos, it's like, have you read The Wheel of Time, or have you read anything by Brandon Sanderson?
Oh,
they're kind of connected because Brandon Sanderson came in and finished up The Wheel of Time after the original author passed away.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How about you, Kyle? If you could do an audiobook recording, what book would it be?
It would have to be something that I couldn't take seriously. So just going through what I've got on my library right now, Hounded would probably work with that pretty well, because it would allow me to slip into my bad Irish accent, and that would be fun for me. I don't have this voice. It's a wee bit annoying for others. And I'm sure someone from Ireland hates me for bastardizing their language, but I enjoy it nonetheless.
That's the first time I've heard you do that voice outside of the Finn makeup.
Great accent. I love that.
I do this every once in a while, just to annoy people.
You should do an episode. You need to write in your Irish character just so he can take over.
We have that planned, actually.
Nice. I can't wait.
I'll tell you guys this, because we're so far into the live stream that only more dedicated fans are going to be paying attention to this. But episode 66, just to be coy, right now the plan for that is going to be Dante's Inferno. And
yes, we talked about this.
We're going to do a three-way review on this one because the movie that we want to review is the animated version based off of the video game. But obviously, we can't just do straight to the video game because the book is such a well-known, influential story. So, Crimson's going to review the book, while NPC reviews the video game, and Finn is going to be pretty much center stage reviewing the movie. Leia, what are you doing?
Oh, gosh. I remember we talked about this a while ago. I had a wonderful idea for that. Is it okay if I talk about it here? Or
yeah, sure.
Yeah. I had a wonderful idea for a gag where you have NPC playing the game, and he's just he's stuck on a certain part, and then Finn walks up. He's like, "What's going on here? What is this?" It's a video game, you know. It's pretty tough at this moment. Just I don't know how to get past this part. Can I try? Well, I suppose. Here, give it a go. And because it's just a sophisticated machine, a super sophisticated machine, Finn picks up on the mechanics of it so fast because, well, he's an engineer, a genius level engineer. The video game is just a machine. He picks up on it so fast and he just blazes right through it. And he's like, I don't see what the big deal is. I don't see how you could possibly make it such a big fuss over such a simple little thing. And NPC is just shattered. His whole world is falling apart because
pride lost.
Finn. Yes. It's just video game emasculation. He's just done. He's
out of all the characters, Kyle, which one is the most truest to you? All those personas? Is it just your main on-screen persona?
They're all different versions of me to an extent. So Crimson is the closest to me overall, just because of the bibliophilia and all that. And NPC, I did spend a good portion of my youth playing video games, and that's largely what he is. He's also NPC is also the guy who goes out there and tries new things and constantly fails. You'll notice almost every single thing he does, he screws up one way or another.
Yeah.
So that's kind of his central characterization. Finn is an extension of my appreciation for science, unfortunately, because of very bad teachers I had to put up with back in middle school. I lost all interest in science when I was in my early teens. So I dropped out. I recently got back. I was watching like Neil deGrasse Tyson's remake of Cosmos, and I was like, oh my God, this stuff is really cool. And actually, I really like this. I would have loved to get in this kind of a job. Fuck my school.
Yeah.
For killing my interest in this subject.
That's a shame.
And that does fuel a lot of my anger towards, the American education system, as I've ranted against so many times.
Yeah.
But yeah, NPC is kind of is a mixture of interest in real science and fantasy. So since he's more steampunk than like astrophysicist, things like that. And yeah.
Yeah. Out of all of them, I think I like NPC the best. He seems like the nicest out of all of them. Would that be an accurate?
Yeah, I'd say it's a combination of being nice and being kind of naive.
Yeah, nice and naive. I like his naivete. It's very endearing, I think.
I definitely like NPC a lot. I can never resist playing a bit of Kevin MacLeod's jazz tracks over any scene between Crimson and NPC. There's one that I think is called Long Stroll or something. Yeah. So that's one that I played a lot during interactions between Crimson and NPC.
Right.
I feel like it fits the character dynamic there pretty well. I do think jazz music works so well for NPC because he's laid back, kind of lazy, but still definitely competent. He's more, Yeah, pretty much that laid back but competent sort of effect.
Yeah.
So jazz music, I always use that style for NPCs scenes. It doesn't seem like what you'd think of for like a video gamer, but it works so well that I just can't not do that kind of music.
No, I think it works. Sometimes it really pays off to play against type with music because it makes it more memorable, and I feel like it rounds out the personality of that character more. It makes them a little less two-dimensional.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I find that choosing music, like, did you, from both of your experiences, I found choosing music to overlay the background of my videos was like the toughest thing out of the whole
It
process.
is quite a thing. A lot of the time, I just, as I'm going through it, I'll take the dialogue that he's recorded, and then I'll pick the music that I want to play over there. I'll have that playing while I'm editing it, sort of editing to it in a lot of places, just so that a lot of the I like to time things to the music, to time certain transitions to the music. Like in the Scorch Trials, we had a bit of Wicked in there whenever I could manage that, and my use of "You Say Run" in the Scorch Trials episode is definitely my favorite thing I've done in terms of music for the show. But
frankly, I want to see an entire music video using fight scenes from the Maze Runner trilogy set to "You Say Run."
Have you ever heard of the meme "You Say Run goes with everything"?
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
I don't think it works as well as Guile's theme, but it still does work.
I like "You Say Run," so it is. Da, 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 yeah, da. They did a great job. I've noticed I've been straying away from Kevin MacLeod lately, and I've been taking more and more risks on things that might get struck, but I should probably get back to Kevin MacLeod as much as I can. I like to think that that when I use copyrighted songs and such, I always try to make sure that there's a reason why I used that song. Like I used a lot of the Resident Evil soundtrack in the Scorch Trials, but that's because while I was watching the Scorch Trials all the way through, I was thinking, this just feels like a Resident Evil spinoff. Like I feel like Wicked is a subsidiary of Umbrella Corp. It's just, this feels like a Resident Evil spinoff. So I just grabbed as many Resident Evil soundtrack bits as I could because I wanted to score like that. I felt like it worked well. Also, a lot of video game people on YouTube like to use those tracks, especially the one going down in the basement, but I didn't use that one. I couldn't find a place where I really wanted to use it.
Yeah.
And originally we had Wicked over the credits. Unfortunately, I had to change that myself because we got a copyright claim on that. And unfortunately, there are a lot of times I can fight those, no problem. We own this movie. You're using footage from our movie. I mean, we want this money. And in this particular instance, since we're just playing a portion of the song over the credits, I can sort of see how they could get pissy about that. So I've decided that from now on, I'm going to offer alternative tracks to play over the credits, just in case this happens again. I suggested using the Nightmare City music again, you know, for The Nightmare Becomes Reality. I suggested using that, but he had already re-uploaded the video with the music he chose, which was all right as temp tracks go. Well, not temp track as public domain goes. Yeah. I like the credits music to have some tie-in to the preceding affair, unless I just feel like doing something goofy, like when I used the MASH theme for the Ring credits. But that's just because it was nice and hijinksy at the time, and I wanted it to end on a hijinksy note, so just do the MASH theme. Why not?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. There was the lyrics version of the MASH theme from the movie. Yeah, okay, it ties in. I'm not completely nuts.
We should probably wrap this up soon. I have to wake up for work in about 4.5 hours. Before we do that, though, Leadership Clone has been extremely patient in starting a hashtag campaign in the chat about reviewing Les Miserables and Journey to the West. So I just wanted to say...
Which Journey to the West?
That actually is a good question. Is there a particular version there?
There's more than one version, right?
I am not aware of it too much. I mean, I haven't really looked into that too heavily. You know, it might be something we do later on. Les Miserables would be a challenge. I mean, first off, in what version you want us to do, but also getting through the book.
That's that book
is like this big.
Approximately.
The text is this small, and it's like 50 pages until you even get to the main character doing anything. He's like spend the first 50 pages on the bishop.
Yeah, apparently Agatha Christie's mother read that to her, and she wrote in her diary that whenever she came to one of those extended history sections, she would just say, "And for the next 150 pages, the story is just not even there. So we're going to skip that." They just kept doing that.
That's hilarious. I love the idea of like this great literary figure totally crapping on another literary figure.
She crapped on herself too.
I
should have heard ranting about Poirot.
Yeah.
Why, oh why did I ever write that awful Belgian? What even is an egg-shaped head, anyway?
Fun fact about Les Miserables, though, it contains the longest published sentence in all of everything. It's something like 817 words long.
In a sentence?
It's one sentence.
Like
Victor Hugo.
Victor Hugo.
Smoking.
Is he? What era is he from? Is he like kind of around the same time as Dickens? Because I know Dickens was paid by the word.
I believe he was before Dickens.
He was before Dickens, so maybe
He's
they
the guy
still
that wrote Three Musketeers.
Maybe they still worked out with the same pay system where it was like by the freaking word. So of course he wanted to milk that system as much as possible. But it's funny how like the standards for writing has changed nowadays, because now you constantly get it from teachers and editors and writers to like always minimize, like don't make wordy sentences, don't use flowery language, just try to like get to the freaking point.
Actually, I'm trying to find the sentence itself just so I can go over it real quick.
You're not reading that.
I found something that says, James Joyce's Ulysses contains a sentence that's 4,390 words long. And my immediate reaction to that is, bullshit. I've read Ulysses. It's garbage. That sentence isn't a sentence. It's a string of incoherent babbling without any periods.
So, who wants a dramatic reading of the longest sentence in Les Miserables?
Oh, God.
I think I found it.
Go for it.
Yep.
Oh my God! Wait, it's how many words?
823.
Is it worth noting though that this is from an era?
Oh my God!
Is this one? I think. Okay. Here it is. Just so the previous post is good. The son of a father to whom history will accord certain attenuating circumstances, but also as worthy of esteem as that father had been of blame, possessing all private virtues and many public virtues, careful of his health, of his fortune, of his person, of his affairs, knowing the value of a minute and not always the value of a year, sober, serene, peaceable, patient, a good man and a good prince, sleeping with his wife, and having in his palace lackeys charged with the duty of showing the conjugal bed to the bourgeois, an ostentation of the regular sleeping apartment, which had become useful after the former illegitimate displays of the elder branch. Knowing all the language of Europe, and what is most rare, all the languages of all interests, and speaking them, an admirable representative of the middle class, but outstripping it, and in every way greater than it, possessing excellent sense, while Oh, I lost my place. While appreciating the blood from which he had sprung, counting most of all in his intrinsic worth and on the question of his race. Very particular, declaring himself Orleans and not Bourbon, thoroughly the first prince of the blood royal, while he was still only a serene highness, but a frank bourgeois from the day he became king, diffuse in public, concise in private, reputed but not proved to be a miser, at bottom one of those economists who are readily prodigal at their own fancy or duty, lettered but not very sensitive to letters, a gentleman but not a chevalier, simple, calm, and strong, adored by his family and household, a fascinating talker, an undeceived statesman, inwardly cold, dominated by immediate interest, always governing at the shortest range, incapable of rancor and of gratitude, making use without mercy of superiority on on mediocrity, clever in getting parliamentary majorities to put in the wrong those mysterious unanimities which mutter dully under thrones, unreserved, sometimes imprudent in his lack of reserve, but with marvelous address in that imprudence, fertile in expedients, in countenances, in masks, making France fear Europe and Europe France, incontestably fond of his country, but preferring his family, assuming more domination than authority and more authority than dignity, a disposition which has this unfortunate property that, as it turns everything to success, it admits of ruse and does not absolutely repudiate baseness, but which has this valuable side that it preserves politics from violent shocks, the state from fractures, and society from catastrophes, minute, correct, vigilant, attentive, sagacious, indefatigable, contradicting himself at times and giving himself the lie, bold against Austria at Ancona, obstinate against England and Spain, bombarding Antwerp and paying off Pritchard. Singing the Marseillaise with conviction, inaccessible to despondency, to lassitude, to the taste for the beautiful and the ideal, to daring generosity and utopia, to chimeras, to wrath, to vanity, to fear, possessing all the forms of personal intrepidity, a general at Valny, a soldier at Jemappes. Jemappes? Attacked 8 times by regicides, and always smiling, brave as a grenadier, courageous as a thinker, uneasy only in the face of the chances of a European shaking up, and unfitted for great political adventures, always ready to risk his life, never his work, disguising his will and influence, in order that he might be obeyed as an intelligence rather than as a king, endowed with observation, and not with divination, not very attentive to minds, but knowing men. That is to say, requiring to see in order to judge, prompt and penetrating good sense, practical wisdom, easy speech, prodigious memory, drawing incessantly on this memory, his only point of resemblance with Caesar, Alexander, and Napoleon. How long does this go on?
You're almost done.
We're almost done.
Is he? Good Lord. What is he? I don't even know what this says.
His only point of resemblance with Caesar, Alexander, and Napoleon, knowing deeds, facts, details, dates, proper names, ignorant of tendencies, passion, the diverse geniuses of the crowd, the interior aspirations, the hidden and obscure uprisings of souls, in a word, all that can be designated as the invisible currents of consciences, accepted by the surface, but little in accord with France lower down, extricating himself by dint of tact, governing too much and not enough. His own first minister, excellent in creating out of the pettiness of realities an obstacle to the immensity of ideas, mingling a genuine creative faculty of civilization, of order and organization, an indescribable spirit of proceedings and chicanery, the founder and lawyer of a dynasty, having something of Charlemagne and something of an attorney. In short, a lofty... why be in short now? In short, a lofty and original figure. A prince who understood how to create authority in spite of uneasiness in France, and power in spite of the jealousy of Europe. Louis Philippe will be classed among the eminent men of his century, and would be ranked among the most illustrious governors of history, had he loved glory but a little, and if he had had the sentiment of what is great to the same degree as the feeling for what is useful. Oh my God, it's finally
nice.
over.
What? Okay, so...
If anyone wants a translation of what that means,
yeah.
it means shit's fucked, but the prince is cool.
but the prince is cool.
Yeah.
We all love the prince.
Prince. I would have never
Somehow
deciphered that. I was talking about a prince?
Sort of. In an extremely tangential manner.
The prince of what? The prince of France?
I don't even know.
I
I thought they were showing somebody to a room. That's when I lost it. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Fun stuff.
Oh, classic literature. Fun. So much fun.
Yeah.
Oh. Looks like we got yeah.
Should we call it a night, guys? It's been 2 hours.
I suppose we could. Apparently GC's here in the chat.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
Hey asshole, I'm here. That's
Whoa.
my impression of you, GC. I hope you liked it.
Bravo. Can you do girl voices? Can you do female voices?
Hold on.
Depends. Oh, in the Prince of Persia video, I was the voice of the princess.
Oh, nice.
I did it with a little bit of I sped up the audio footage so it would work.
Okay.
But only slightly.
But only slightly. Nice. Yeah. But that was a really good impression of GC.
Thanks, guys.
Oh,
is he coming in?
Hey, guys.
Oh, God, he's going to kill me.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he's wearing a hat.
Remember, he's from the Navy.
And it's not his fancy hat.
Can I hear you?
I'm guessing you guys can hear me.
Yep.
Yeah, hello. Who's your friend?
Hello, hi.
The Dirty Badger. He's the tech support right now.
Hello, tech support guy.
Tech support. Tech support.
So he probably
tech support guy. So there's some tech support
Oh, apparently they want me to do my Ryuk voice.
Completely dropped all
that
cute? Here.
No.
Yeah, I can hear him. Or
so hi. Oh, I don't believe we've
I can't hear them
met
through
face
the
to face.
through
Hey, you don't want to hear them through this. You want to hear them through Google Hangouts, right?
Yes.
Can you hear them through Google Hangouts?
Negative.
It's probably because of this.
I don't know if they can hear us, guys.
Boys.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Say terrible things about him. He can't stop us.
Okay.
Can't hear it?
Can we all just talk about what a terrible actor he is?
Go to speakers, Yeti, stereo mic.
Okay, now I can hear him.
Oh, good. GC, we were just talking about
we were just talking about what a wonderful actor you are.
Guy is leaving now.
Get out.
Goodbye, tech support guy. We'll miss you.
Thank you, tech support man.
Hey, dude, they all know. They're all now calling you tech support man.
Guy.
Whoa!
So anyway,
it's tech support man.
Sorry, I'm late, guys.
So the tech support guy is always the guy who, helps on situations but never gets laid, right?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Good. I fill that role nicely.
Never. It's okay. I'm the editor. I know what it feels like.
Yeah, Ashton is our editor. He knows exactly what you mean.
Could be worse. You guys could be
I feel some shade going somewhere. Some shade got dealt there. It just went in a certain direction.
It's okay. My shade was double-edged.
Ashton says his shade was double-edged. Anyway, hi Ashton. It's nice to meet you.
Hi. Yeah, nice to meet you too. I am the guy who does all of the editing on these episodes. I also have a very lovely voice.
Oh yes, so lovely. Yes, Samuel Matthews, that is a Interstellar poster. I'm at my buddy's house right now. He's being nice enough to let me use the system. That's why everything is so nice and fancy.
Yeah, he has.
Oh my!
He has all the fancy equipment, the microphone and everything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, up until this point,
it
was Ash who was the only one who had like proper equipment.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Him and Kyle.
And then Kyle. Yeah, I guess I can't see his microphone.
Well, yeah, except my brother and I have been using this microphone to help record.
Oh yeah, I had a microphone just like that when I made my audiobook.
Yeah,
I have upgraded since then.
I've got to get a better one because half the time we try to use this thing, we get this obnoxious high-pitched the entire time.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I had that issue so many times. It was so frustrating.
I looked it up. It's like something about intercepting wireless signals, but it's like there's nothing around you really to intercept. Stop doing this.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But might I recommend? I've got a Neewer NW800. It's actually really good. I'll type it out in the chat for you so that you will be able to look it up or something.
Thank you, sir.
Neewer NW800. You're going to want to make sure you have a good preamp too. It's best to have a fancy mic cable, like one of those that doesn't go directly into the laptop. Like I've got one, I have to plug it into the preamp, but it is worthwhile because you get a lot better audio quality in general. So that's my fancy little speech. I hope you all liked it. My tech talk.
Yeah, your talk.
This has been tech.
So can tech support guy join in on these conversations again?
No, leave us.
Are we not like a part of it anymore?
Oh no, we're still part of it. I usually lurk in the YouTube chat so I can answer questions. But Ashton, stop being a dick.
You're like Boba Fett. We all think we want more of you until you show up.
He says, Ashton says you're like Boba Fett. We don't want more of you until you actually show up.
We all think we want more of you until you show up.
We all think we want more of you until you show up.
See, Boba Fett will always remain amazing, except Captain Phasma. She will always be the ultimate letdown because
she is the new Boba Fett.
He Ashton says she is the new Boba Fett.
And then
Boba Fett.
According to Badger, Captain Phasma is the new Bubba Fett. Anyway, so how are we all doing tonight? And I apologize for being late.
How was the My Little Pony movie?
Fuck that shit.
What did you watch?
My Little Pony.
We actually didn't get the chance to go see a movie. Money constraints changed that real quick.
I see. That's a shame.
Someone wanted his chocolate.
Fuck off, Badger.
Gotta have a chocolate.
Bitch, you have no room to talk. I saw you get chocolate too. Fuck off. No. You've lost speaking privileges, tech support.
Whenever you have
Why don't you just beat your tech support like everyone else?
Because I left my cat of nine tails at home.
Too bad.
Don't you just have like a standard whip or really anything that's hard?
Unfortunately, I don't have a paddle.
That's a paddling.
You have a fist. Two of them, in fact.
Ashton asked, why don't I just beat the tech support with a whip like everyone else?
Because he knows that will lead to dirty transgressions. That's mine. You haven't paid for it yet.
Oh my.
Yes, I have a tattoo on my forearm. Yes, Jafar, I have a tattoo on my forearm. It is Lucario. It is a tribal design.
Isn't Lucario a Pokemon?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
Congratulations.
What do you want to say, Rogue?
What?
You have an issue with Pokemon?
No, Pokemon was awesome 15 years ago.
Still is, bitch. You're the one who has no room to talk because you're the one who sits there and
to the point where
you're the one who quotes memes months.
I've heard people talking about I've heard people doing all kinds of crazy over the new animation. People are really excited about the way the series is developing now.
They're also really crazy about the way Pikachu can talk now.
Dear God.
That was in one movie, and nobody thought that was a good idea. Nobody thought that was a good idea.
Badger.
Laura Hardy, sleep is for the weak.
I do need sleep because I got to wake up in 4 hours.
Yeah,
I don't even need to talk to anyone at Starbucks now. I walk up to them and they're already making my drink.
Whoa!
I'm not even kidding.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not, Rogue.
It's probably really bad.
I got a couple customers like that. Yeah.
Real quick, I'm probably gonna have to end up re-editing that because the douchebag company who keeps fighting me on it keeps fighting me on it. So,
Wait, fighting you on what?
I don't even remember which douchebag company it was, but some douchebag company keeps fighting me on ownership for the City of Bones review. So,
joy, that one.
I'm just being overly obnoxious.
Badger. Mushroom.
Yes, he sits there and does that constantly.
Support guy's tongue.
Yes, tech support guy is talking. Hey, Rogue.
What's up?
Tiny Studios wants to know if we're ever going to do a game was better of the Pokemon movie or Super Mario Brothers.
Hey.
There are so many Pokemon movies.
What are they up to?
Which one do you want?
15?
Don't look at me in that tone of voice. Don't.
I think about 235 at last count. I could be mistaken.
I'm just repeating what the question was.
It's a valid question, by the way, but that's Holy Grail.
Can't tell we have a fanboy in the house.
Anyway,
Who, me?
I'm gonna sell you to the gypsies.
Sorry. Anyway, I think we should call it a night.
Aw, I show up and it's time to go because Kyle's a little bitch who needs sleep.
Yeah.
You try waking up at 2:30 in the morning.
You're talking to a guy who hasn't slept well in 2 weeks because his body is.
You're talking to a guy who hasn't slept well in 3 years.
I've worked a lot of shifts on like 3 hours of sleep.
That's easy. It's called caffeine, nicotine, and sugar.
Yeah, frankly, I'm really worried about what it's all doing to my body at this point. I've probably taken years off of my life thanks to this job.
No.
Me, I'm still getting used to my new shift, which is 4:30 in the evening to 1 in the morning.
I used to work a shift like that.
It's fun. The joys of working with the government.
Yeah.
Right, what are you doing here then? That's weird. Is this your day off?
Yeah, I work Monday through Friday, and I get Saturday and Sunday off.
Oh, okay. For a second, I thought you were playing hooky like a naughty boy.
No, if I was playing hooky like a naughty boy, I'd be in a brothel.
Yeah, you'd have more fun there.
Ash, I have a feeling this is going to be the beginning of a beautiful friendship tormenting Kyle.
God, there's 2 of them now.
I'll get it on
I'm
this.
afraid you have to say that in a
Can I get
Bogart
in on this?
accent.
With me, there's 3.
It
Don't
needs to
count me
happen.
out.
Diane, sweetie, you don't torment Kyle. You help
There is no
Tracy
room
torture
for the
him.
tech support guy.
I help. What? Sorry, I help. What?
You don't help torment Kyle. You help Tracy in torturing him.
Yeah. But
Samuel
still,
Math-
helping.
Samuel Matthews, in answer to your question of am I ever going to zap the camera with superpowers in an episode? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, we should go because
Oh.
I'm sorry. Next time you'll join us. We should probably if Ash is going to join us, we should. I don't know, Ash. Do you think you're going to want to join us again in all this madness?
Absolutely not. This was the worst experience of my life. This was a terrible mistake. You all are horrible people. I am officially resigning as the editor of The Book Was Better.
Damn it.
Bye, everybody.
I've got to do that myself.
Anyone who believes that, please stand on your head.
Actually, we should get Ashton on the next Patreon live stream. It would be.
You calling me a liar?
Yeah,
because at this point, GC, we're both tied for what the fans.
Oh, fuck me. Fuck me.
So we're both reading our old fan fiction.
Son of a bitch.
Sucks for you, buddy.
I want fan fiction. Get on it, fans. Make fan fiction. For me.
Oh, God.
Kyle, this is your fault.
What?
Yeah, well, you suggested it.
It's your fault.
You suggested it.
It's still your fault. I'm blaming you.
This is possibly my fault.
Because I said so. Shut up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so if anyone's curious about that, $1 is all you need to get into the Patreon live streams. And
to watch me and Kyle torture ourselves.
It will be hilarious. Oh, yes. And the Verdant Hedgehog is passed out, but the two of us are launching a gaming channel later this month, so that'll be fun. That includes not just us bickering at each other as we're playing co-op games, but also this is Airsoft, playing Airsoft together. So that'll be fun.
Oh, I so wish I could be in Virginia so I could whip your ass, white boy.
I still have BBs in this.
What?
Uh-oh. It's loaded.
Oh, now it is. Fortunately,
Kyle.
it's a green gas gun, so it's
Hey,
not.
Kyle. I wish I could be there in Virginia so I could whip your ass.
Oh, yeah, you wish.
And then there was fan fiction.
Ashton, why are you trying to sit like you're asking to be drawn like our French girls?
I think you know the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Position.
Okay, fans, somebody needs to write 50 Shades of Crimson.
Oh my god!
He walks into the room for an interview.
The name of the next episode.
Oh, trigger discipline? Absolutely.
50 Shades of Crimson. You know what? You should sit there and name the book was better episode for 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades of Rage.
Yeah.
Reading My Immortal, that would just be.
Fuck no.
I
have already banned My Immortal. I have banned that. There will never be a reading of that.
We will eventually do My Immortal.
Fuck you. No.
We're gonna trick Jesus.
No.
It's to hear people's ears bleed. To hear people's ears bleed. Yes, I said that correctly. Hear people's ears bleed would be amazing.
Dude, Badger, I was physically ill by the 7th chapter. I threw up halfway through chapter 7 of that atrocity. We are never going to read it on anything.
I have fond memories of that fan fiction.
That's because you're the one who sat there and jacked off to it, Ashton.
Well, there had to be one.
I will volunteer to tribute.
Hey, Badger's saying he'll happily do it as the reader. I say we make him do it.
Fine, bring him next time.
I'll sit there and send you a link if he's to his Gmail account so he can join us for the madness. He's the tech support guy on this site. He's the one who fixed my computer after it decided it wanted to die.
GC, you just got an offer to get paid $800 if you read My Immortal.
I want it in cash.
Novelist writer, actually, Hogwarts.
Unmarked bills, preferably.
What?
I'll take that offer if he doesn't.
Yeah, novelist. We already did Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles.
It was amazing, and I enjoyed every second of it.
I think Diane and Kyle's favorite part is my version of Tom Riddle in there.
The silver. What is My Immortal? If you have to ask, it's best if you are saved the pain.
Don't look it up. It is a nightmare and atrocity. It is something that the FBI uses to replace waterboarding.
So yeah, look it up. You'll have fun.
If you think Two Girls One Cup is bad, My Immortal makes it look amazing.
Yeah, the easiest way to put it, My Immortal makes Two Girls One Cup look like, well, a good thing to read in church.
It's a textbook example of misguided fan fiction.
No, it's a textbook example of someone needing a lobotomy.
It's a textbook example of someone having a lobotomy and writing fan fiction afterwards.
Yeah, I was going to say that would be more accurate.
I can agree with that one.
Anyway, guys, I'm going to call it a night. So you guys have
All right, we'll call it a night then.
Okay.
So this was definitely fun. We've got to get all four of us into these live streams. These are definitely much more lively.
Definitely.
Yeah, it'll get interesting.
Although, what are we gonna call it now that there's four of us? The
5
Quirky
whenever
Quartet?
Tracy shows up.
The Geek Guild?
The Geek Quartet. I like that.
Or we could always go with the crew.
Geek Crew.
The Nerd Crew. Oh wait, that's taken.
Yeah. Nerd Crew is taken.
We'll think of something.
Yeah, what a bummer.
Eventually.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheers all.
Thanks everyone for stopping by.
I want to hear the tech guy's really bad name.
No, we are not calling it The Breakfast Club. That was an awesome movie.
Oh, that was a good movie.
The Brunch Club.
We cannot live up to the breakfast.
Out of the loop yet again.
Yes. The Badger's
The dinner
always
club?
out of the loop.
The Afternoon Tea Club.
We are not calling ourselves the Afternoon Tea Club, Ashton, no matter how fancy
Yes, we
you want to get.
The Gods of Geek.
Yes.
I like the afternoon.
It's officially been decided.
The
We are the Afternoon
Syndicate
Tea
of
Club
Nerds.
from now and forever.
You
Okay.
guys-
Fans,
Are
back me
you
up.
suggesting that after
We
the Two
are
Girls,
the
One
Afternoon
Cup
Tea
mention?
Club.
Do you have something with Two Girls with One Cup?
No, we're not going there. Though
No,
I do
We're
like,
not going-
though I do like the thought of calling ourselves either the Gods of Geekdom or the Geek Lords.
I like the Fellowship of the Geek.
Ooh, I actually really
Fellowship of
like
the Geek.
Dinner Guild.
Dinner Guild.
Dinner Guild.
Dinner guild.
Why not? That
I
one
like
actually works.
Oh, the second breakfast club. I like that. That's cute.
What about second breakfast? We'll open every
Yeah,
episode with
what
a thing. What about second breakfast?
That's exactly one.
So is it between Dinner Guild and Second Breakfast Club?
I think so.
I want to open on second. I want to do
I like
second
second
breakfast so I can
breakfast
open
club.
every episode
DC, what do you
like
think?
that.
I think
didn't
it's a toss up
even
between
realize-
those two. Yeah, I'd say put that one up on a poll on Facebook.
I am leaning towards Second Breakfast Club myself.
How about this? We put it up. We put up
I've
the
been won over.
conversation between those two.
Thank you, John Moriarty.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
I didn't even realize it was a Lord of the Rings reference. I just assumed, oh, we're the other Breakfast Club. But that's even
Okay, guys. I vote that we put up on the Facebook page a poll between the Second Breakfast Club. Hi, Daisy.
I want to do the second breakfast club. I like
I
that one
vote
a
we
lot.
put it up on as a poll on Facebook for either A, the Second Breakfast Club, or B, the Dinner Guild. I think that would work either way.
The second breakfast.
Can you
club?
think
There
of
can
a
only be
witty
one
intro for
breakfast
Dinner
club.
Guild?
They were it would be a reference to Lord of the Rings, Second Breakfast.
yeah.
We've had one,
Okay, that's
yes.
fucking
But what about second breakfast?
What about Elevensies?
Afternoon tea, dinner,
Whatever.
luncheon,
It's gonna be called
dinner,
one.
supper. He knows about them, doesn't he? I wouldn't count on
Afternoon
it.
tea.
Okay, so yeah, Kyle put it up on the Facebook page as a poll between those two. I think those two would work.
So ask the audience. Does he sound more sexy than usual because of the mic?
Do I sound better than usual, guys?
You sound less shitty.
Does his
Oh, fuck you, Rogue.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Does his
But I
voice
will not
sound
deny.
velvety?
But that's a good thing.
Does my voice sound velvety smooth?
It actually
Mine
does.
is mine.
What was said?
The Badger needs to know. He needs to know.
Diane, all right, you win the night with that comment.
Yeah.
Oh, she got me this time.
Good.
All right. On that note, okay, it's time to call it a night.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
All
good
right.
night.
Thanks,
sorry I
everyone,
wasn't
for
here
joining us.
earlier, but-
Thanks, guys, for being here. This was awesome. Definitely got to do this more often.
Oh yeah, with all four of us next time. Hopefully, we can pull it off at a better time, and I won't be late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers all. Chip, chip, cheerio. Toodles.